In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to rapidly grow a YouTube channel using a strategy that I've replicated hundreds of times. Monetize that channel through ads and features outside of YouTube, as well as leave the job that you've been working that you absolutely hate to go full-time on YouTube. And we're going to do all of this within just 30 days. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly how to pick a viral niche, dominate any niche that you enter, and make viral content consistently, as well as monetize that content to become financially free. My name is Justin. I help entrepreneurs turn their YouTube channels into money machines and earn their financial freedom. And just so I don't waste any of your time, this video is only for people who are looking to gain their financial freedom using YouTube, people who are ready to be a part of a team and a mission, because we do have a very tight-knit community within the program that I run, and we're all very much on a mission to not only become financially free with YouTube and quit the job that we all hate, but we also want to become the best versions of ourselves. Even though I've already achieved what it is that I'm teaching everyone within the program, they are still helping me better myself, because we're all on a mission to become the best versions of ourselves, and we all push each other toward that goal. So if you're not ready to be a part of that team and a part of that mission, this video is not for you. And this also isn't for you if you are not ready to take your life to the next level. If you're comfortable where you are and you're just kind of wanting to chill there and just make the same amount of money that you're making, be in the same shape that you're in, just stay the same that you are right now, then this video is not for you. And this video is only for people who are motivated and willing to invest time and money into their YouTube channel growth, into their future, into their life's future, not just their YouTube channel future, but into becoming the best version of yourself. And that starts with becoming financially free so that you can have the time to become the best version of yourself in other areas. So if you aren't ready to invest time and money into you and your channel's growth, then you should probably go find a different video to watch. Now, in the past, you've probably tried some YouTube automation courses. Maybe you try to do YouTube yourself without getting anyone's help, or you tried some general YouTube growth courses. The reason why YouTube automation courses don't work for you is for many reasons, but the main reason is if you're a new business owner and you suck at sales, what is the one thing that you shouldn't do in that situation? Outsource sales. Why? Because if the salespeople are doing bad and the marketing team are also doing bad, you're not making any sales. The sales team is going to blame the marketing team, and if you suck at both, you're not going to know which one is right. You're not going to know which one is the bottleneck. And the same goes for YouTube automation. If you suck at making thumbnails, you suck at editing videos, you suck at writing scripts and doing voiceovers, etc. If you suck at all of those things and you outsource all of those things, whenever your videos are going wrong and they're not getting views, you're not making profit, you're not going to know where the bottleneck is. You're not going to know where the issue lies because you've never been successful at any of those things in the past. So you should start a channel on your own first, and this is coming from someone who has multiple YouTube automation channels that makes him a decent amount of money. But once you're successful with your own channel where you've done all of those things, then you can slowly outsource those things and then start YouTube automation in the future once you've mastered all of those areas that you're going to automate. Doing YouTube by yourself with no help can work for sure. It took me about 5 years to do that, and that's with watching videos, obsessing over it constantly, reading books about the YouTube algorithm, all of those things every single day, posting a video every single day, researching every single second that I wasn't creating a video. I was researching and obsessing over algorithms, and it took me around 5 years to do it. But I didn't hire a coach, I didn't hire a mentor, I didn't join a program, buy a course, anything like that. It was all free because I was broke. So that can work for you, especially if you follow the steps that I'm going to show you in this video. But anybody who knows business, anybody who's successful knows that the only cheat code to life is to just find someone who has done what you want to do and give them whatever the hell they want to teach you how to do it. That's what I do every single time. The only reason why I ever want to make more money in life is so that I can pay more mentors to get access to new information. That's the only cheat code in life, and that's why, in my opinion, trying to do things yourself, if you have the money to invest, is just really stupid, because we can all agree that time is more valuable than money. And if you don't fully agree with that, then let me ask you this question. If I were to give you $1 billion today, right here, right now, but you couldn't wake up tomorrow, would you take that $1 billion? The answer is no, because time is more valuable than money. And why general YouTube growth courses don't work is because you don't have someone sitting there to walk you through the steps. Yeah, you can have all the information that you want, but in our program, I will sit there and walk you from point A to point B. I will hold your hand, make sure that your YouTube channel turns into a money machine, and at the same time, I will teach you the skills, I will teach you the strategies so that you can replicate it yourself, not just with that one channel, but if you wanted to, you could start 20 more YouTube channels afterwards using these same strategies and continue to succeed, continue to dominate any niche that you enter. Whereas with a course, you're just going to go in and use it as kind of like a library. You're going to go just watch the info, read the info, and you're going to try to have to implement it yourself with no one there to help you. But in our program, we walk you through, we hold your hand from point A to point B, and also teach you the skills that it took for you to get from point A to point B so that you can replicate it yourself in the future. But I know exactly what some of you are still thinking. This might have worked for you and your clients, but it's not going to work for me. I'm special, I'm different. I can promise you I was worse off, or at least as bad off as you are right now. Not financially, my family was fine in that sense, but I was a complete loser myself. No drive, no ambition, fat, ugly, all the 9 yards. And to kind of paint the picture, just so you can really understand that this strategy, these formulas will work for you if you actually implement them. Here was what life was like for me before I woke up and started taking life into my own hands and started doing YouTube seriously. I was one of the best baseball players in my area, and I wasted that entire potential because I didn't want to work out. I was extremely lazy and I didn't work out a single time. I made my parents pay for me to go away to college to play baseball, and I quit after 2 practices for no reason other than that I was just lazy. But not only did I quit baseball, but I stopped going to class to play video games all day and all night, wasting all of my parents' money. They were paying for me to stay in an apartment. They were paying for me to go to college, mainly so that I could play baseball, really for no other reason than to play baseball at that college. I didn't do class. I didn't do baseball. I did nothing but waste my parents' money and play video games in the apartment that they were paying for me to stay in. I came home after 1 semester and went to a local community college, didn't go to class a single time, wasted even more of my parents' money. Around that same time where I started to go to a local community college, I got a job at a local country club. I never did anything there. I got caught watching a movie one time and I got fired. And if you're wondering, because I know you probably are, it was The Matrix. I got a new job in the IT field that was basically handed to me by my dad. I wasn't supervised well at all. My dad was pretty high up in the company. I showed up 2 hours late, left 2 hours early every day, and the 2 hours that I did spend actually in the office was spent watching YouTube videos, whether that's on video games, or I did start to actually watch educational YouTube videos on how I can better myself on YouTube and just in life in general. But either way, I wasn't doing any work. I somehow kept that job for a few years, but I was so bad at it that eventually my manager told my dad that if I didn't quit the job, I would actually be fired. So I quit. But around that time, thankfully, my YouTube channel actually started to take off. Like I said, I was doing a lot of research. I was posting daily videos. While I was at the job, I was basically just working on my YouTube channel instead of working at that job. And my channel did start to take off a little bit. I was making around $1,000 a month or so. But obviously that income isn't enough. It's not a full-time income. Though it wasn't for lack of effort on my part. I really did love the grind. I loved grinding for 12 hours every single day to post a video because I felt like I was building something that was mine. That wasn't somebody else's. I was building a business that was mine. That's why I was such a bad employee. And I'm sure that a lot of you out there can relate. You're also probably a bad employee. And that doesn't mean that you're a failure in life. It doesn't mean that you're a loser. You probably just have the same mindset that I do, where it's just hard to really buy into building someone else's vision, to building someone else's dream. Whereas with YouTube, I have not an issue at all with grinding 16-hour days to build something because it's mine. So I had to go find another job, another failure where I failed at doing YouTube full time. Had to go find another job. Got a job as a fire extinguisher technician. I remember it was in some sort of warehouse, and when I walked in on the first day, I was looking around and hearing the people talk to me, and it was literally just like a bunch of zombies, you know, walking around in that place, people who had given up on life. And I knew that that's not where I was supposed to be. You know, I had completely failed myself because I promised myself whenever I quit that last IT job and went full-time on YouTube, I promised myself I would never work for someone again. And I broke that promise to myself. And not only did I break that promise, but I started working in a place, in a warehouse where everybody was zombies. Like I said, everybody had given up on being anything in life. They just kind of accepted their fate as a loser. And I just knew very quickly that that wasn't the place for me. So shortly after getting that fire extinguisher technician job, I went and applied for a bunch of other jobs. I eventually got a remote IT technician job, and I actually quit YouTube for a full year until my friend dragged me back in. And then I immediately started seeing a good bit of success. I had a couple of viral videos, and then it wasn't just 1 or 2 viral videos. It was basically every single video that I posted. At that point, I knew I had figured something out. And then I started teaching my close friends who started asking me, you know, other YouTubers in the space, hey, can you help me out with my channel? I'm struggling in this area. I started helping everybody out, and it started working for everybody. The strategies that I was implementing in my own channel, they started working for everyone who I was implementing into their channel. I started making around $15,000 to $20,000 a month just off my one YouTube channel. And I started to help others do the same, not really charging for it. It wasn't really a coaching business like I have now, but I was building up a good bank of testimonials and case studies. I didn't know it at the time. I just genuinely liked helping those people. It made me feel really good, which is kind of why I'm in the line of work that I am today. My main channel actually got bot reported and it got deleted. It got banned because I kind of had beef with a couple of larger YouTubers. They sent a bunch of bots at me. They sent their audience at me to report my channel massively. The channel got banned, and I'm still working on getting it back, but at this point, I don't really care. And at the time, a lot of people would have been devastated, including myself. Like, the first thought that I have was, man, this is devastating. You know, my entire life's work is down the drain. But I knew that God had a plan for me. And I also knew that if I wanted to, I could start a new channel and be right back where I was pretty quickly, because I had done it for like 15 or 20 people at that point who weren't myself. And my first thought was, yeah, let's just start a new channel. I can start making 15, 20K a month again on a new channel pretty easily. But then God placed a couple of people in my life that told me to go down the coaching path. Because like I said, I had done it for 15 or so people already, where I took their channels from zero to making a good bit of money to where they were able to leave their jobs. And so God placed in front of me a couple of people who actually guided me down actually starting a real coaching business. Instead of just doing it for free, I started charging people in order to get them those same results. And it's crazy because what I realized is when people actually pay for a service, they do a lot better within that service. They're a lot more bought in. So a model that I've had on this YouTube channel for a while is I want to make my free content better than my paid content. And I've realized that that's actually not possible, because the results that people get whenever they put money up, whenever they put money into something, is just never going to be able to compete, or the free stuff is never going to be able to compete with people's paid stuff, because just the simple act of someone paying is going to put it ahead of any free information that there is out there. But I started a new channel anyway, just because I wanted to prove to everybody who is going to be coming into my coaching business in the future that I could not only do it for other people, but I could do it for myself literally whenever I wanted to. That channel went from 0 to 10,000 subscribers in just 2 weeks without shorts. It was all long form content, had a couple of viral videos. But like I said, that's a process that I'm able to replicate pretty easily at this point. But I ended up quitting that channel completely once it hit 10K subs. That was my goal, and I went all in on coaching. So there aren't much bigger losers out there than I was. And if I can wake up and start taking YouTube seriously and take my life into my own hands, so can you. It did take me 5 years of grinding and obsessing over YouTube, but luckily it won't take you that long, or at least it shouldn't, because you have me. Let's get into how you can grow your YouTube channel into a money machine and do it fast. But just in case you still don't believe that you can do it, let me give you a couple of case studies from the last couple of months that we've had. We've had Coach go from 0 to 33,000 subscribers in just 6 weeks. We've had Casey, who was stuck seeing no growth for around 3 years, join the program, and 1 month later was fully monetized on YouTube. We've had Matt, who was also stuck around 100 subs, maybe 200 subs, hit 3K subs with a very dedicated community for all of his live streams. And we've also had Sunny, because we do help a lot of business owners, join the program trying to promote his coaching business, was stuck around 30K a month just posting short form content on Instagram and TikTok, make a YouTube channel, and go from 30K a month to 70K a month in just 1 month with his coaching business. These strategies will work for you, and I'm so confident that they will that I'm going to give them all away for free in this video. Let's get into it. The first thing that we teach to everyone that comes inside of our program, because if you don't have this one thing, then you're never going to be, massively successful on the YouTube platform, is how to pick the right niche. I went through a ton of niches until I found the right one. So I started off my YouTube channel doing like reaction videos to movie trailers and TV shows and stuff like that. It just wasn't working. I kind of moved over and pivoted into doing Star Wars lore videos. It worked a little bit better, but it still wasn't really working in what I wanted it to do. Then I moved into more like Star Wars news videos, and then I went to more overall Hollywood news videos. And then I went, kind of started feeling a certain type of way about what Hollywood and Star Wars were putting out. So I started getting kind of negative about it, and then started getting more into the wider culture war topics. And then it eventually evolved into kind of like, I had an audience built up, and I really understood what that audience wanted. And I was getting around 7 million views per month. So it was working really well, but I went through so many iterations of what my niche was until I finally found the right one. And if my channel would have never gotten reported and gotten banned, I probably would have still continued to evolve over time. Now, the thing is, if you want this to be a business, you have to stop worrying about what you want to post and start worrying about what the audience wants to see. That's the key to everything right here. And I've made this really, really crappy Venn diagram. I know it's not the most visually appealing thing, but it is a very good representation of what makes a good niche. You want to have something that not only you are interested in, but that other people show a lot of interest in. You want to have something that you can show polarity in, because you want your audience to be polarized when they're watching your videos. You want them to be angry. You want them to be happy. You want them to be leaving comments, disliking the videos and liking the videos. Any sort of engagement is good engagement, because this is trying to turn your channel into a money machine, not a happy place machine. Like, we don't care how happy people are. We want them to be polarized. We want your opinions to polarize them, and not all negative. We want them to be like, maybe 70% positive and 30% negative. We want people arguing in the comment section, things like that. Engagement is good, and polarity drives engagement like nothing else. And then knowledge. You want to have knowledge on the topic as well as have an interest in the topic. But more importantly, you want to have knowledge on a topic that other people are interested in. And whenever you can find a niche that has all of these things, you're in the money, as you can see right there. This can take a ton of trial and error for sure. Like I said, I went through so many iterations of what the perfect niche for me was. And if my channel wouldn't have gotten banned, I would have gone through a lot more as well, I'm sure. The niche can always be better. You should always be trying to improve the niche that you're in. You should never be just satisfied and happy with the niche that you're in. You should always be looking at what the audience wants to see more of, what the audience wants to see less of, and always be refining your niche. What you want to post doesn't matter as what the audience wants to see. We went over that a little bit earlier, but so many people make the mistake of, they'll post one video and it does really well, But instead of making a part 2, part 3, part 4, they're like, that video did well and I really want subscribers, I really want views, but what I want even more is to post content that I want to post. And it's like they sacrifice all the views and all the subscribers and the opportunity to leave their job and become financially free because they want to post content that they want to post. And it's just so stupid to me. And so many people join the program and will make that one shift, and it makes so much of a difference. Like that one shift probably isn't going to let you go full-time on YouTube, but it's going to get you on the right track and going in the right direction. And we do that for so many people who join, and they're all mind blown because of the results that you get from simply just posting what the audience wants to see. Once you have your niche picked out, it's time to learn how to make content that will dominate that niche and how to dominate any niche that you go into. To do this, we use a strategy called the 5 T's of YouTube. It's topics, titles, thumbnails, timing, and tenacity. So first, let's start off with the first T, which is going to be topics. So many YouTubers mess up with topics. My client Casey was making this mistake. We made a few tweaks to let her double down on the topics that were working. This got her monetized after just 1 month being stuck for years. So this is what I was talking about. One of the students that came into my program who was making the mistake of, instead of doubling down on the topics that were working, making different kind of like variety style content, instead of just making, seeing what sticks, throwing stuff out there, seeing what sticks. And whenever you do find something that pops off, whenever you do find something that sticks, you hammer down on that, make a part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, until it stops getting you views and stops growing your channel. You continue to make that type of video, and then you go wide again, something pops off, then you go narrow again. It's a very simple formula, but so many people fail to utilize it. What do we do? First, we understand what topics will perform and which topics won't. We do this by leveraging other people's content, or OPC as we'll refer to it for the rest of this video. Find the authorities within your niche. Study the topics that they frequently post very carefully. Find the ones that perform well and the ones that don't. Test out different angles using the information that you gathered. When one topic hits, stop testing and double and triple down. So basically, to summarize this, you want to go to the authority figures in your niche, study the content that they post very carefully, study the content that does really well and the content that doesn't. Find what topics they're posting whenever their content does really well. Test out different angles of those same topics on your channel, with your own twist on these things. And whenever one video does do well, whenever one video does pop off, do not do anything else. Stop everything that you're doing. Stop testing. Stop doing anything. Stop even thinking about posting a different topic. Double down, triple down, quadruple down. Continue to post on that topic until, like I said earlier, it stops growing your channel. It stops getting you views. It stops getting you the desired result. Do not do anything else but post that topic until you stop getting views. This is where everyone messes up. Casey would see one video pop off and then post multiple videos afterwards on totally unrelated to that video. YouTube pushes the next videos to everyone who watched the viral video. So because it is unrelated, the CTR suffers. Basically what happens is you'll have one video that pops off. That entire audience that watched that video, no matter what your next video is on, is going to see that previous video that popped off. So if you make one video on fitness, that video goes viral, and then your next video is how to start a garden, everyone who watched that fitness video is going to see that gardening video, and they're not going to click because they're not interested in gardening. And that's going to hurt your video's CTR and kill the video. Whereas if you have a viral video that's on fitness, and then the next video is a part 2 to that video that was on fitness, everyone's going to click on that video, skyrocketing the CTR and making a second viral video, possibly even more viral than the first video. It's most likely going to go on an uptrend. If you're actually watching the video and not just listening, it's going to go on an uptrend over and over as you make part 2, part 3, part 4, and then eventually you'll probably get some diminishing returns. That's when you go wide again. And then you find when the video that pops off, you really hammer into that one topic, then you're going to go up, 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 and then diminishing returns. This is what I mean by your niche can always improve, because you're always going to go wide, then shrink down. You're going to, like I said, go up, diminishing returns, go wide, shrink down. It's just a thing that you're going to do over and over, and it's eventually going to become second nature to you, to the point where you're not really thinking about it anymore. You're just kind of doing it. And if you look at all the larger YouTubers, that's exactly what they do. If I wanted to make a channel like Alex Hormozi in that niche, you would talk about money. Look how much the guy talks about money. He started off talking about all different types of things, but he realized, hey, people really like when I make money videos. So why would I make anything other than how to make money? If I wanted to become a millionaire in 2024, this is what I do. How to get rich, how to make so much money. Brutally honest advice to my younger, poorer self. Always about money. I made 6 million in 60 days and no one's frowning upon him because he's providing valuable content. Nobody's like, oh, this guy just wants money. He just wants to grow on YouTube. This guy's so evil. Like, no, bro, that's just his business, And the same should go for any niche out there on YouTube. Like, nobody should be frowned upon for wanting to turn YouTube into a business and making content to make money, because you don't go work your garbage man job or your IT job or anything like that. You don't go do that because you have a love for that business. You do that because you want to make money. And the same can go for YouTube, although YouTube is a lot more fun because you can actually be free. If I wanted to make a channel in Alex Hormozi's niche, it would talk about money. Notice how the one video about his personal life gets less views than the money videos. So this one right here is like the Hormozis, which is kind of like his reality type TV show where they just follow the life of Alex and Layla Hormozi, and it only got 135K. That's because it's about his personal life, whereas all the money videos get a whole lot more views than that one. And this video is still valuable because it is a business, and I've made videos in the past about why those personal videos are so valuable, even though they don't get a whole lot of views. But no one cares about you until you provide them value. Stop posting vlog and lifestyle content until you provide enough value for people to actually care about that type of content. 135K views on this Alex Hormozi video about his life, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of people who actually care about his life. At one point, Alex realized his audience likes him to talk about money. He doubled and tripled down, and his channel exploded. Just do the same thing in your niche. So in summary, study your niche's authorities for their topics. Test on your channel what topics work well and which ones didn't. When one topic works, make a part 2, 3, 4, etc. Post what your audience wants to see, not what you want to post. Be willing to adapt to new info all the time. Now, the next T is going to be titles. A friend named Jack was putting all this effort into his scripting and editing, making great videos, but his videos were getting no traction for over a year. I looked at his titles and they were extremely lazy. We made a few videos using this formula, and of course his videos went viral. He now does YouTube full time. It's sad to say, but packaging is more important than the actual content of the video. Oftentimes, I would say like 90% of the time, the packaging of the videos is actually the most important part, and the content of the video kind of comes secondary. Now, if you're making really good packaging and then your content sucks, that's going to really hurt your videos for sure. But if you're inside of your videos, if your actual content is really good and your packaging sucks, nobody's ever going to see it. So it doesn't really matter much. Titles break down into 3 main parts. Every title has all 3 parts. And those 3 main parts are 1, keywords, 2, buzzwords, and 3, SEO. Keywords are words that tell the algorithm who the video should be pushed to. And here in these Alex Hormozi videos, I circled what some keyword examples would be like if I wanted to become a millionaire, how to get rich and make so much money. So what the keywords do in summary are kind of just tell the algorithm what type of person they want to see the video. And I don't know if everybody does this on purpose, but everybody does do this who's successful on YouTube to an extent. So what kind of person is going to be pushed this video, which is a blueprint to become a millionaire in 2024? Well, it's going to be people who often watch videos on becoming a millionaire. So become a millionaire is the keyword phrase that's going to tell the algorithm which people should be pushed this video. What kind of person is going to be watching a video on how to get rich this Black Friday? Well, it's probably going to be the person who watches how to get rich content quite often. So how to get rich is the keyword that is telling the algorithm who to push this video to. How to make so much money it makes you sick. Well, make so much money. You know, people who are searching and watching videos on how to make so much money are going to be pushed this video, which is smart because that's the type of person that should be shown that video. Now, buzzwords are something that not a lot of people talk about at all. And I don't really see many people talking about this, to be honest. I don't know if anybody talks about this, but buzzwords is something that I talk about that I don't see other people talking about often, but they're words that make people want to click. It differentiates your videos from other videos that are like those videos. So here are some of the buzzwords that Alex Hormozi was using in these same 3 videos. If I wanted to become a billionaire or millionaire in 2024, this is what I do. Full blueprint is going to be the buzzwords here because that's what separates it from other videos like it. This isn't just a couple of tips on how to become a millionaire in 2024. This is the full blueprint of how to do it. And that's a very, very common thing. I've been telling my students this recently, a very, very common trend of videos that go viral are full guide, step-by-step guide, full blueprint. In fact, this video right here is probably going to have that in the title because they do really, really well right now on YouTube. Whenever you put full guide or step-by-step guide or full blueprint, people are loving those types of videos. The next video, how to get rich this Black Friday. The buzzword is going to be Black Friday because that's what's going to differentiate this from how to get rich videos, you know, all the other millions of how to get rich videos that are on YouTube. This one is about getting rich on Black Friday. And not only does this differentiate it from every other video that's going to be on the timeline, that's going to be on the suggested page that are about how to get rich, but it's also going to really, really intrigue the person into clicking because they're going to think that Alex Hormozi has some specific strategy that's surrounding Black Friday, that's specific to Black Friday, that's going to intrigue them to click because it's going to be a new strategy. That's how to get rich instead of just the same old stuff that he and a ton of other people always post. This one's about Black Friday. So it's going to intrigue someone to click and differentiate it from the rest of the videos. How to make so much money, it makes you sick. So it's not just how to make so much money. It's not just how to make a lot of money, but it's so much money that it's going to make you sick. And that's what differentiates it from all the other videos. And it also intrigues, you know, someone to click because you're like, how could a lot of money possibly make me sick? How could that even be the case? It's going to intrigue you to click because, you know, it's going to make you sick. It's going to be so much money that it makes you sick. You understand what I'm saying? It's things that differentiates your videos or this one video from every other video that are similar to it. It's not just another how to make money video. It's so much money that it's going to actually make you physically ill. Like that's what differentiates this one from all the other strategies and all the other videos that you've seen that are similar. And then SEO, I'm sure all of you probably know this already, but it's search engine optimization, words that are highly searchable, and it's very similar to keywords nowadays. Back in the day, SEO words were different from keywords because SEO, well, you know, the algorithm on YouTube wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. The algorithm on YouTube now is very, very sophisticated. And it's to the point where all the SEO words are basically keywords now, because the algorithm can just see these words in the titles. They can even see words within the thumbnails and objects in the thumbnails and kind of know who should be shown these videos and who is going to click on these videos. The algorithm is extremely sophisticated now. So these are going to be very similar to the keywords, but very highly searchable words are become a millionaire in 2024. People are going to be searching that all the time, you know, especially with 2024 approaching and not here yet. They're going to be looking for how can I become a millionaire or be successful in this next year? How to get rich, how to stuff is always going to be highly searchable, and how to get rich is probably one of the most highly searched, you know, phrases out there ever. How to make so much money, how to make money is going to be something that's always searched. So you get the picture. A lot of how-to content is always going to be searchable. You know, if you're first starting out on YouTube and you're making education type videos like this, how-to content is going to be the golden ticket to growing your channel, you know, getting that jump start on your YouTube channel, because how-to is always being searched by, I'm sure you've probably searched how to do something today. How do we know what buzzwords and keywords to use within our niche? Well, once again, we're going to leverage OPC, which is other people's content. Study the top dogs within your niche, notice what keywords, buzzwords, and SEO they use, try it on your channel and see what works. A good buzzword in one niche is not always going to work in other niches. If a niche is commonly talking negative on a subject, buzzwords like destroys, exposes, and wrecks will all work very well. In a niche talking about making money, words like insanely fast, grow, full guide, full blueprint, things like that are going to work very well. Whereas if you're talking negative about a subject and you start using words like full guide, people are going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Full guide? Why are we talking about why the Marvels sucked? And we're talking about a full guide. Like, obviously that buzzword is not going to work, and that's an extreme example, but buzzwords in certain niches are going to work a lot better, you know, than they would work in other niches. That's just how it works. So you can't just find one good buzzword in Alex Hormozi's content and think, oh yeah, that's my buzzword from my niche. No, you have to go study your niche and figure out what buzzwords work within your niche. And the same goes for keywords. Research your niche and notice what words are commonly used in the titles. For a channel about F1 racing, the words F1 racing should probably be in every single title. For finance channels, the word money should be in every single title. The algorithm is smart, but make it as easy as possible for it to learn who it is that you're trying to target. You know, the algorithm is very smart, it's very sophisticated, but we want to make it as easy as we possibly can whenever we're first starting out, because our channels are brand new. It's a fresh slate. We don't have a huge audience for the algorithm to, you know, kind of take a sample of and figure out who should be pushed our videos to. So we want to make it as easy as possible and as obvious as possible for the algorithm to figure it out. The next T is going to be thumbnails. Everyone nowadays knows that thumbnails are important, but there's a huge misunderstanding on what makes a good thumbnail. My client Dennis came into the program thinking that his thumbnails were top tier, and they were actually very visually appealing, but they weren't scroll stopping. And when he first saw the thumbnail I made for him, he thought it was bad. I told him to post it and give it a chance. The video took off, of course. A thumbnail being aesthetically pleasing does not make it a good thumbnail. So many people make this mistake. They'll make a thumbnail, they'll spend hours and hours making a thumbnail, and they're like, oh man, this is very aesthetically pleasing. You know, it's very appealing to the eye whenever I'm looking at it. It would make a good Instagram post. What makes a good Instagram post does not make a good YouTube thumbnail. Let's check out some of Mr. Beast's thumbnails, because we all know Mr. Beast. We all know he's like the most successful YouTuber out there right now. Let's take a look at some of his thumbnails. Mr. Beast is the largest YouTuber in the world, but his thumbnails break so many rules of graphic design. That's because his thumbnails are about psychology. And not just his thumbnails, but thumbnails in general are about psychology, not color theory or graphic design. Take a look at this. Notice how he doesn't even have drop shadows on the subjects. No words to tell you what the video is about. Just like titles, thumbnails that work in one niche will not work in all niches. But look at these thumbnails. None of them have drop shadows on Mr. Beast. And obviously, he's spending like thousands and thousands of dollars on these thumbnails. He's having multiple made. He's A/B testing for every single video. He doesn't have drop shadows. He doesn't have words. He doesn't really have, he breaks a lot of the rules of graphic design and of color theory and things like that, but his thumbnails are eye-catching. They're scroll stopping. So, being aesthetically pleasing and appealing with your thumbnails aren't going to stop anyone's scroll. So we have to learn what works within our niche. We have to learn what kind of rules that we need to break in order to have our thumbnails be scroll stopping and attract the right eyeballs onto our channel. So once again, we leverage OPC. Study thumbnails from the authorities in your niche. Notice the amount of words, what faces. Do they use their own faces or do they use someone else's faces? What colors they use, the small objects, the emojis, the dollar signs, the arrows, the circles, whatever the case is. What text color do they use? Text color can definitely be different between the niches. Once again, if you're talking negatively often about something, then red text is probably a good text to use. If you're talking positively, then it's probably going to be a color more like green instead of red, because you're talking positively about a subject and maybe you're talking about making money. It's probably going to be green text and stuff like that. You have to just learn what works within your niche. Once again, it's going to be different from niche to niche. Just because you find a thumbnail that works for Mr. Beast doesn't mean it's going to work for you if you're making fitness content or gardening or F1 racing. Any of the other things that we've talked about in this video doesn't mean it's going to work for you just because it worked for someone in a niche that's completely unrelated to you. But if you find what works within your niche, then it is going to work for you. Some good rules of thumb for your thumbnails are max 3 words, max 2 subjects, and a subject can be, anything from a person to an arrow to an emoji, anything like that. You don't want to have too many subjects because then it kind of distracts from the overall story that you're trying to tell with the thumbnail. Tell the story with images, not words. I see this so often where people will write an entire paragraph on their thumbnail and think people are going to sit there and read it. They're not going to read that. People aren't sitting there stopping their scroll from their mindless zombie brain entertainment that they're looking for on YouTube and TikTok and all this stuff to read an entire paragraph on a thumbnail. That's why Mr. Beast's thumbnails work so well. None of his thumbnails have any words, but you know what is going on without even reading the title most of the time. And yet he does break these rules of thumb quite often. I said max 3 subjects and he has a ton of people here, but that's because Mr. Beast is a master of thumbnail creation and he has a ton of people, an entire thumbnail team. He A/B tests all of his thumbnails and stuff like that. So obviously he tests what works and he's figured out what works for him, but those are good rules of thumbs for beginners who don't really know exactly what works within their niche quite yet. Studying the masters like Mr. Beast is going to be helpful, but to make money and grow fast, it's better to study your niche in and out. This will have a higher ROI for you because it will be local to what works in your niche, not for the largest channel on the planet. The next T is going to be timing. All the best YouTubers use timing to their advantage. From reaction channels to education channels, timing is leveraging current events and trends to give your videos a boost in views. A perfect example of this is what Alex Hormozi does literally all the time. So Alex Hormozi in this video right here is going to leverage time because it's about to be 2024 and a lot of people are going to be looking forward to content and looking for content that's going to make them rich in 2024. So what does he do? He makes a full blueprint on how to become a millionaire in 2024, and it's still November of 2023 at the time of me recording this. It's November 13th of 2023 when I'm recording this video. He also made a video because Black Friday is coming up, how to get rich on Black Friday. He's going to leverage that current event that is coming up to, teach people how to get rich on Black Friday, which is an event that's coming up soon. So he's going to leverage the timing of that current event to boost his views. Because once again, the fact that this is not just another how to get rich video, but instead it's how to get rich on Black Friday video, it's going to set it apart from all the other videos. And because Black Friday is coming up soon, it's going to give it that initial burst in views. Something else I know once Black Friday is gone, he is going to change the title and thumbnail of this video from how to get rich on Black Friday to something more generic and make it, instead of a timing video, he's going to make it more of a generic video so that it continues to get views over time and it doesn't just shut down once Black Friday passes. Every single channel can do this. In fact, channels like Alex are the hardest to leverage timing for. That's why I picked that out as an example. But there are always angles within your niche that you can take. You just have to get creative sometimes. A dating channel example, use a celebrity dating breakup and a new couple in your title and thumbnail. You can use this for a video that you plan to do regardless of this couple news, but you are just using the news to give your views a boost. So let's say you're planning on doing a dating example. Maybe you have a dating channel and you were planning on making a video on a certain topic, but yet you see in the news, oh, a certain couple broke up. Now you can use that breakup, that celebrity breakup, as an example in your video to prove the point that you were already going to prove on that video. But instead of just, titling the video that point that you're going to prove, you can title your video about that celebrity dating breakup to boost your views. Not only is that relevant timing wise, but it's also relevant just because it's going to be celebrities, more people who are more recognizable than you are. Maybe you're a vegan dieting channel. Here's an example for that. Use someone famous who tweeted negatively about vegan diets or an interview of someone roasting vegans to boost your views. You can do this for all channels and all niches. You just have to get creative, and people struggle with this. They think, oh, my channel is the anomaly. I can't leverage timing to boost my views because my channel is in such and such a niche. And then, they talk to me for 5 minutes and I'm like, well, what if you just did this? Like, oh, I never thought of that. It's just, you just have to get creative sometimes, and for timing, some niches can be tough. I'm not going to lie. It's tougher for some niches than others. Like education channels, it's going to be harder than someone who just does news content in general, but it can be done. You just have to get creative with it. And if you're not leveraging timing, it's going to be a whole lot harder for you to succeed in the short term. It's going to be a whole lot harder for you to boost your views initially and kind of launch pad your channel right now. The next T is going to be tenacity. I have been wanting to do YouTube since I was 12 years old. I got made fun of, quit multiple times, and saw no growth for years. In 2019, I finally committed to input goals instead of output goals. And what input goals are, I'm sure you've heard of this, but just in case you haven't, is just putting in the work, putting in the inputs. So posting videos, instead of having goals of a certain view count or a certain subscriber count, having goals to post a video every single day for a year. That would be an input goal, something that we can control. If you take care of the inputs, the outputs will take care of themselves. So I finally committed to input goals instead of output goals. This meant that I would post at least one video a day for a full year. Of course, this is when I blew up. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber, but very few can actually crack the code. To be what not many can be, you have to be willing to do what not many are willing to do. This might be what I help clients with the most, which is mindset shifts. You have to be willing to put the work in. You have to be willing to post, more than anybody else is willing to post within your niche. Why did I blow up so fast on that channel where I went from 10K subs to 60K subs after I changed niches? I did that within a couple of months. That's because I was posting 7 days a week, and I was also posting multiple videos a day, 7 days a week, something that nobody else in that niche was willing to do. Now, you're probably not going to have to do that in order to grow, in order to go full-time on YouTube. You don't have to be as insane as me. But if you want to be, you're going to be able to speed up the process quite a bit. You just have to be willing to commit. You have to be willing to allow yourself to become obsessed with the process, obsessed with the inputs. And then eventually, I'll never forget this conversation that I had with one of my friends where it's like, I hit my first 10K month on YouTube and I was talking to him and I had just been in this tunnel for honestly this entire year. Like, it's flown by. Like, this entire year has just flown by. I don't remember anything except for just grinding away on YouTube. And, I was talking to him and I was like, dude, I didn't even realize, like, one, how fast this year went by. Two, the man that I've become over this year and over these few years of really grinding away at YouTube. Every once in a while, when you just have these input goals and you're just completely focused on the input goals, you'll pick your head up out the tunnel and you'll be like, dude, I'm unrecognizable from who I was a couple of years ago. I'm completely unrecognizable. Like, truly, becoming financially free, going full-time on YouTube, those are great things. But something that having these input goals and just working towards becoming the best version of yourself on YouTube and off of YouTube, like, something about that, like, whenever you get to the destination, that's great and all. But the real prize, it sounds so cliche, it sounds so corny, but the real prize is who you become along the way. Like, truly. And until you achieve it and you really are able to look back at it yourself and realize that, you're never going to be able to truly understand what I mean But if you actually do, end up joining the program and you put the work in and achieve what I'm trying to help you achieve here, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. So many clients have told me that same exact thing that I just told you. Now let's talk about some monetization strategies, how to actually make money off YouTube so that you can quit that job and start making 10, 20, 30K a month off of the platform. You can go in one of two directions for this. You can either do AdSense money or you can do course or coaching sales. The only people that should be getting into education niches are people who have an expertise enough to have a course or program. The AdSense money will not be great at first with education channels, but if you can grow them really large, the AdSense will be huge. CPMs on education channels are really, really big, but they are kind of hard to get off the ground because you have to prove your expertise and you have to provide massive amounts of value over a good period of time. So that's why if you're an education channel, I highly recommend that you have an expertise enough to where you can actually sell a coaching program or a course. And if you don't have an expertise enough to do that, don't fake it. Don't act like you do. Please do not do that. Instead, just make a channel on something else until you do have an expertise enough to make a course or a coaching program, because the education niche, in my opinion, any sort of education niche is going to be a lot slower to get to 10 to 30K a month, but the ceiling can be a lot higher. I just recommend if you're looking to quit your job soon and become financially free soon and make that 10 to 30K a month in the next 30 days, you should probably not pick the education niche unless you have the expertise that I was talking about. I recommend that you go after AdSense money. It's way easier to make 10K a month in 30 days if you do AdSense money. I already made a video breakdown on how you should actually make your content for education channels so that they can sell. And I'll go ahead and link that video in the description if you want to check that one out on how to make that type of content. But for AdSense channels, you just use the strategies that I laid out in this video. You're just playing the YouTube game and you collect money. Like, it's as simple as that. No sales calls, no coaching calls, just post videos on things you're passionate about and you collect money if you actually follow the strategies that I teach you in this video and that I teach within the program. Now, once we actually have a large dedicated audience, you can start selling merch. You can start selling clothing, toys, equipment, whatever the case is, but it needs to make sense for your channel and your audience. Again, what you want to sell is completely irrelevant. Sell what your audience wants to buy. And once you combine the AdSense money with the merch sales, you're going to be rolling it. You're going to be laughing. Like, seriously, you're going to be making a ridiculous amount of money, and people are going to be probably mad at you who were at your previous job because they're going to see how much money you're making. And people nowadays, instead of asking you how you did it, they're just going to get mad at you for making that amount of money because they notice how much they've missed out on. If you take this video and apply it, you will grow on YouTube. There's no question about it. This is going to work for you. The question is, how long will it take you to become financially free? It can be a very long and hard road for sure. It can even take up to 5 years like it did for me. So you have two options. You can either pay with time or pay with money. And as we discussed earlier in the video, everybody can agree that time is much more valuable than money. I can do all these things for you and set up your channel as a money machine and give you the skills and knowledge to replicate it if you want, or you can spend the years it takes to do it yourself. You have two choices here. You can either be happy now, stay in your comfortable job, not invest the money, and instead invest the time, but you're a lot more comfortable and you're happy, but it's going to take you possibly even 5 years to get to this point, which is going to make you very sad. Or maybe you won't ever get there at all. Like, that's a real possibility if you don't have someone there to hold your hand and to give you a guarantee that, yes, if you pay me this money, you are going to get this result. You are going to be making money from YouTube 100%. If you stay happy now and you stay comfortable and you don't invest that money, you could very much end up being sad in the future and not achieving that desired result. That's a real possibility. Or you can get uncomfortable. You can invest the money, which is in turn going to invest your mind, because as we talked about earlier, it's impossible to make free content as valuable as paid content, because just the simple act of putting money into something is going to allow you to not only invest that money, but also invest your effort and just get better results whenever you put money into something. So you can get uncomfortable now and get a 100% guaranteed desired result, or get your money back at the end of it if somehow this doesn't end up working. It's never not worked in the past, but if somehow you put all the work in and it doesn't work for you, then you can just go ahead and get your money back if you want to. If you want to delay gratification and live your dream life in the near future, just go ahead and book a call with me or DM me on Instagram. Both links will be in the description. If you have any questions, just shoot me a DM over on Instagram and I can teach you exactly how to pick a viral niche, dominate that niche, leverage OPC to master topics, titles, thumbnails, timing, and tenacity, and monetize your channel to become financially free. If this sounds like you, book a call or shoot me a DM. You can join this community of killers and turn your YouTube channel into an absolute money machine. But only do it if you're actually ready to commit. Only shoot me a DM, only book a call if you're actually ready to commit and leave that crappy job. Or if you already left the job and you just want to take your channel to the next level, whatever the case is, It's time, like right now. If you want to commit, you saw my story. You saw how much of a loser I was. It doesn't matter like where you are now. It doesn't matter. If you have the money and you're willing to invest in your future, it's not a gamble, it's an investment. Like I said, if you don't get the desired result, you're not going to pay. I'm going to give you your money back. If I take someone's money, I expect inside of my heart, there's an expectation around it that I'm going to make you more money than you gave me before you leave me. So if I don't meet that expectation, then I'm just going to give the money back. Like, it's as simple as that. It's not a gamble, it's an investment. And it's an investment into not just your YouTube channel and becoming financially free. Like I said, this is a community of absolute killers that are helping each other become the best versions of ourselves every single day. The people inside the program, even though I've achieved what it is that you're paying me to achieve for you, they're helping me be better every single day by keeping me accountable, with my fitness, with just becoming a better person overall. So if you're ready to join and turn your channel into a money machine, just go ahead and book a call or DM me on Instagram if you have any other questions before you end up booking. Hopefully you enjoyed this video though. If it did end up helping you, I would appreciate if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and I hope to see you on the next one.